Hi, fifth graders. This is Mrs. Wilson, and I'm going to be your spelling teacher for the rest of this year in fifth grade. Mrs. Forbush is no longer teaching at Utah Virtual Academy, and I'm the new fifth grade teacher. So you'll get to know me a little bit later, but for today's lesson, we're just going to pick up where you left off, and we're on Unit 2, Lesson 4. And you need to have your workbook and open to this page, and it looks like this. Page 20. Okay, it's the word sort. All right, as you look at this page, it asks you to sort your words according to sounds found at the beginning, middle, or at the end of your word. The first sound that they ask you to sort by is a k sound. Now, whenever you see letters in the middle of these slash marks, it usually means that you need to listen for the sound that that letter makes. So this would be a k sound. When you look at your words, do you see any words on your list that have the k sound, but it's spelled with a ch? Go ahead and look at your list and see if you can find one. Okay. One that I found was chord. Now, chord is used in music. And where does that CH occur? The CH occurs at the beginning of that word. So I'm going to write it in my notebook on the column that says at the beginning of the word. So go ahead and write the word chord just like that. Okay, that is the k sound at the beginning. Now the next column says the k sound at the beginning of the word. After the beginning of the word. So look at your list and see if you can find a word with the k sound that comes in the middle or just right after the beginning. Okay, the word I found was schedule. Now, so I'm going to write schedule in that top blank. You can see that I wrote it in that column because it comes after the beginning of the word. Okay, down the page you're going to find words, and this one, see if you can see that a little better, is the PH, spelled PH, but it has the f sound, or the sound that F makes. Now again, when you have the f, that means the sound, but it's spelled PH. Look at your list and see if you can find any words that make the f sound but have the PH spelling. Okay. Now the word I found was symphony. Now the PH comes in the middle of that word. So can you tell which column I'm going to write it in? Yep, I'm going to write it in the PH in the middle of the word. So go ahead and write symphony. And you can see that I put it right there. Okay, continue filling out that page using your spelling words and following those rules. The last question on that page asks you about the prefix quad. Okay, now the prefix quad, there we go, means four. So all these words are going to mean four of something. Like the word quadruplets means four kids or four babies. If you have quadruplets in your family, you have a full house. So go ahead and finish filling out that sheet and then talk to your learning coach and you can check your answers with them. Okay, fifth graders, hopefully you've had enough time now to finish page 20 and that you've checked with your learning coach to see the correct answers and you've corrected your mistakes. Now you're going to need your dictation notebook for this next part. So pull out your notebook, it might look something like this, and go ahead and open up to a clean page and put the date at the top and number 1 right below the date. I'm going to read each sentence twice, so listen carefully as I read it and then you'll be able to repeat it back to me and then you're going to write it down in your notebook. So listen carefully. Number 1. The millionaire is an architect who has many assistants to help her design buildings. Okay, one more time. The millionaire is an architect who has many assistants to help her design buildings. Now go ahead and repeat it back. Okay, hopefully you've had time to do that. Now go ahead and write it on your paper. Once you've written it on your paper, go ahead and push play again. Okay, sentence number 2. The orchestra played a symphony that was not on the regular schedule. Okay, again. The orchestra played a symphony that was not on the regular schedule. Now go ahead and repeat it back to me. Okay, and go ahead and write it in your dictation notebook. Okay, you should have written both of your dictation sentences, and I need you to go back in both of those sentences and underline any spelling words that you see. Now make sure that you're checking for capitals, that you've capitalized the first letter of your sentence and that you've put your punctuation in the proper places. Also check for correct spelling of those spelling words. Go ahead and read those 2 dictation sentences out loud to yourself and make sure that they sound right. And then you're going to check with your learning coach and they will show you the answers to make sure that you've gotten those 2 sentences spelled correctly. Okay, today for your spelling box practice, you're going to gather all of the index cards from this unit, so Unit 2, spelling words, and hand them to your learning coach. They are going to dictate or say the words to you. You will write them on your whiteboard, and then after you write them, they're going to give you the card to check the word. If you spelled it correctly, you're done with that word. That's great. But if you spelled it incorrectly, you're going to have to write it in syllables. So what you'll do, let's say my learning coach said the word symphony, and I spelled it like this on my whiteboard. Okay, can you see that I made a mistake? Yeah, it sounded like it, but it should be a Y. So what I'm going to do is on a card, I'm going to write the word, or on my whiteboard, I'm going to write the word in syllables, just like this. Okay, so I'd write symphony. Okay, and then I'd practice saying that. And then I'm going to erase it and write it correctly on my whiteboard. Okay, and I'll write it without the syllables this time. Just like this. Okay, so write symphony correctly. Now you'll go through each of the words in your spelling box like that. Remember, if you spell it correctly, you're done with that word and move on. If you get it wrong, go ahead and write it in syllables for extra practice. Good luck. Great job today, 5th graders. Keep studying those spelling words, and now you can close this window and meet me back in the Illuminate classroom. Thanks.